What's up guys, Nax Tech here. In this video we're going to be checking out the web browsing performance of the iPad 4, and with its A6X chip we'll see how fast it can render web pages. We'll check out some benchmarks and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to use Safari here because it's the one it comes with and it's probably the fastest browser that is available on the iPad anyhow. So let's just go ahead and try some websites here. We'll close out the tabs I've already done. We'll load up. I'm not going to clear the cache because I'm not doing a speed test or anything like that. We're just going to have a look at the overall performance, and you can see it is actually pretty damn quick. Let's not forget with the iPad, it hasn't actually finished loading until this little circle has gone, and there you go. And obviously with the iPad, nothing really has come close except maybe Windows Phone to the smoothness of the iPad. And you can see there the pretty much one-to-one scrolling you get with the iPad is fantastic. What I actually don't like about the iPad browser though is the fact that you can't just fling it all the way to the bottom. It has a certain speed that it has to go. You can't fling it like you can with the Android stuff. And maybe that's a bit to do with why it's so smooth all the time. It doesn't have to render the whole page all at once. I don't know. But you can see there's no such things as the white spaces or checkerboarding. It's all pretty much perfect as you would expect from the iOS devices these days. Pinch to zoom as well. Yeah, nothing is quite as smooth as the old Safari browser on the iPads and iPhones. It just looks like it's running at full 60 frames per second the whole time. We can zoom in there. You can see text clears up very clearly. And obviously on this display, with its resolution of 2048 by 1536, you don't see any pixels, and it's very, very clear. Text is very sharp, pictures look great, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and try a different website. One of my favorite tests, The Verge. Go ahead and kick into that. See, again, it's very quick. And yeah, it's done. Again, you can see there basically one-to-one with my finger. There's not much lag if you see when I stop and start. You can see it's basically one-to-one, which is fantastic, really. I haven't seen a device that's quite that responsive. Pinch to zoom again on this website, epically smooth. It's a Safari browser on the iPad. You're not going to have any lag in the browser. That's just the way it is. Yeah, I wonder if, I'm pretty sure this is still how it occurs, but let me just have a look. If I go ahead and while it's loading put my finger on the page, yeah, that's just the way iOS is built. It's now frozen and won't load the rest of the page until I lift my finger, and that's because it puts all the processing power to the touch response and basically freezes everything else. Which it doesn't do in Android, and Android will keep loading even though I have my finger on the screen. So Android does have better multitasking, and you see when I take my finger off it will start to load again or finish loading, and there you go. But again, how much do you really care about that? It's just a little quirky thing that you should know about, but it doesn't affect you. Just shows you how the iOS system works. Again, very smooth. We can pinch to zoom here. You can see text clears up basically instantly as soon as my fingers are released. Very, very nice, as you'd expect. Now, what else should we? Let's have a look at. What happens if I go to the BBC iPlayer website? I don't know, because BBC iPlayer is Flash, but I'm not sure if they've decided to use HTML5 yet. So. Oh yeah, that always annoys me about Safari. You can't just search in that search bar. It really annoys me. So we'll go ahead and search here. You can see it's very, very quick, isn't it? There's no problems whatsoever. We'll try and load the iPlayer, see if it uses the HTML5. And it looked like it's going to. So on a normal browser, I think this is and that works really well. So I don't know what's happened to it there. Hasn't liked the fact that I've rotated it, but it does work. Yeah, as you'd expect with the iPad browser, you know, it's very good. It's very smooth. There's little to no lag anywhere, at any point. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw out some benchmarks there. So I'm going to go over to SunSpider, which tests the core JavaScript of your browser, and let's check it out. You can see here, tapped on it, and it's just flowing through. Shouldn't take very long, so I'm not going to bother skipping. And there we go. And that is one of the actually slower scores I've seen on the iPad, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but it's 927.7, so under 1,000 anyway, so still pretty damn decent in terms of SunSpider there. Don't worry, I will be doing benchmark comparisons with the browser with my Nexus 10 tablet, but for now this is just checking out the web browsing performance of the iPad 4. If I just go into the settings here, I don't know if I can prove to you that it is the iPad. Actually, I can prove to you that it is the iPad 4 by using this, I believe, Geekbench, which I'm not going to run yet. Just tells you that it is the 4th generation iPad, because you can't really tell. So 4th generation iPad, the Apple A6 processor. So yeah, let's go back into Safari. On this run, it got 927. I'm not going to bother running that again because, you know, we could run it all day. Going to head over to a different benchmark now. We'll head over to BrowserMark. You can see it's very, very quick. I mean, it is basically instant when I'm pressing this stuff, especially the Google search. You can see here we're on iOS Safari 6, web account tablet unknown, funnily enough. We'll go ahead and click Europe and launch. Okay, and this is going to take 4 minutes, so I am actually going to skip to the end of this and we'll check out the results there. And there we go, guys, we're back to results, and you can see it scores 2,442, which your browser is superior to 96% of all tablet browsers. So very, very good score on BrowserMark. And I can tell you, when it was going through the test, all the animations and all that sort of stuff looked very, very smooth. It was the smoothest I've ever seen some of the stuff render. So very good performance from Safari on the iPad 4. You can see here the differences. Interestingly enough, here you've got the Nexus 10 build here and the Android browser 4.0, which I believe is the AOSP browser, scoring higher in terms of points. But we won't look at that now anyway. We'll just go ahead and see that browser. So let's go ahead and try another benchmark. And we'll check out Peacekeeper. Okay, here we go. Peacekeeper, go ahead and hit go. Hit go. And again, guys, this is the longest test, so I'll just skip to the end and show you the results. And we're back, guys. We've got a score of 897 HTML5 capabilities, 1 out of 7, which is a bit strange. And this is what's really interesting. Mine scored here, Safari 6.0, below, for 50-ish points below the where the iPad 4th gen is meant to come, and this is the iPad 4th gen. So that's strange, and I'm not sure why that is. Doesn't say much about it here. No, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it hasn't scored as well as the top iPads one, but there you go. That's the score it's got. So the last test I'm going to go and run is the HTML5 benchmark, or just the HTML5 test, which is just like a See how well it supports HTML5. 386 and 9 bonus points. Yes, we are on the iPad running iOS 6. So pretty good actually in terms of that score. If we look at other browsers here, tablets. The first place was actually the RIM tablet, then Opera Mobile. BlackBerry 10's got an amazing score there. You can see there the iPod Touch, the iOS 6, sorry, 386 and 9 compared to everything else. So, as always, it's a really nice browser. Safari's really nice. You've got good stuff. It's all very smooth all the time. You know, you're not going to see any lag anywhere. I will be comparing the Nexus 10 benchmarks with the iPad 4th generation benchmarks in terms of the web browsing. So if you want to watch that video, go ahead. It'll be in my playlists or links somewhere along the line. So yeah, guys, that's the iPad 4th generation web browsing experience. See you all later.